Well, for the record, I was totally right that this is some VC Andrews shit. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Riverdale review. I know that I am late in discussing these two episodes. I'm sorry. It was just a very chaotic week, and then I ended up binge watching Dear White People, and I had a lot of opinions about that, and so I really wanted to sort of work on my videos for that, like writing up a bunch of stuff for it, and I will be posting it, but out of love of you guys and of course love of Riverdale, I wanted to make sure that I did at least get this review up to you guys so that you could see it. I did not get a chance to do sort of the Melina Unfiltered. I apologize for that. Like I said, this kind of was like a thing that I just was like, I have to do it, but I just had so much stuff I was trying to get done before that, so it just didn't end up being a major priority, and I just want to apologize in advance for that. This is the penultimate episode, and we discover who killed Jason, and just celebrating the glory that is Alice fucking Cooper, who is my champion and should be yours really, because Alice is just killing it. I mean, when she walked in that episode with that like blue pencil suit and cardigan sweater top, I was like, Alice Cooper, you really can do no wrong. You're glamorous, you're fierce, used to be a gangster, you're suburban but still a gangster. Like, she's the perfect person. I love Alice Cooper so much. And I feel like I'm going in and out of focus. I apologize if that is the case. It's being very weird today. We discovered two very, very important things. Both actually surrounding Jason, so that's kind of interesting. One is that Jason was murdered by his father, Cliff Blossom. The reason of which we still don't fucking know. However, the video of Cliff murdering Jason was really intense, even though we didn't see the whole thing. It was intense just knowing that he killed his son. And I think everyone's reactions to it were so good. I mean, Betty's reaction was so intense, and for a second I was like, did Betty kill him? Because she was looking real traumatized. I was like, oh my god, it was a dark Betty. And then it was Cliff, and I was like half relieved, half like, ooh, I wish it had been Betty. But you know, we can't get everything we want. But Cliff killed Jason. The Blossoms are dealing drugs, and they are totally okay with incest as long as it's third cousins. That bomb was everything to me, because I was like, this is VC Andrews' life. Like I told you, this is Flowers in the Attic bullshit right here. Like everything about the Blossom set is so Flowers in the Attic that it just is like, mwah, I love it. Gothic, southern charm, whimsy in this New England town. Beautiful. But they're like, yeah, they're third cousins, and like they have the same great-great-grandfather, I guess. And I was just sitting there like, so Hal, if you had just said this in the beginning, none of this would have been a problem. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, again, this show is so good at like having characters communicate and talk that when they don't, it is jarring. Because if you don't want your daughter dating her third cousin, just tell her, hey girl, that's your third cousin. This isn't gonna be August County, so like, let's just get rid of this shit right now. All I had to do was say that, Hal, because the way she looked when she held them babies, I don't think Polly wanted to have her fourth cousins at that moment. I just don't think that was in her table. So, you know, that whole reveal was kind of like, holy shit, but like, communicate, people. Tell your daughter she's dating her cousin. I'm sure she'll stop, most likely. Or if not, you know, you did everything you could at that point. And you know, that's also why he wanted Polly to have an abortion, which is not an excuse, by the way, because you're still doing it without her consent. Again, communication. My girl Cheryl stepping up these last few episodes, and I think it's because they have the actress doing more subtle things. I think that Cheryl's actress is very talented, and like that whole part where she goes to her mom is like, mommy, she does it in a way that's so like believable for Cheryl's character that it comes off as both creepy and natural. And I was like, this is excellent Cheryl Blossom for Riverdale. I was very impressed with that. I thought she did a really good job. Everything that went on with the Blossoms was actually really interesting, even though they're my least favorite family. Except now they can't be because the Coopers are technically part Blossom, but I love them regardless. The Coopers are just excellent. With Veronica, her conflict with going on with her dad, it has been kind of like the least interesting of all the big family dramas. I think that Hermione's part in it is more interesting, whereas Veronica suddenly gets this almost Shakespearean, obsession with figuring out how her father's connected to all of these events. And it's kind of like, girl, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not connected. Because the thing is, like, even Archie said it, like, going from him paying FP to trash a lot to hiring FP to kill a fucking teenager is a really big leap, girl. And I know you're in your feelings right now, but you're really doing the most. And I think Veronica has been the most sort of like up and down character when it comes to giving her a clear motivation that fits with the storyline, besides Archie, because Archie's extraneous. And I hope that they bring that in more in the second season. Veronica, while she was a good character, there's definitely a lot of improvement they could make to make her have her own storyline. And the show's not over yet. Next week could do something really big, but I think that once Hiram makes his official appearance on the show and they bring in more of that, Veronica will be able to do more plot related things and not just come at the end like, my father, my father, my father, my father, my father. I'm just kidding. I love her eyebrows. I know people are like, her eyebrows are so intense. I'm like, they look dope to me. I mean, yeah, they're like thicker in the middle and like they got that really like deep thing, but I don't know. I like defined, interesting brows. When it's revealed that Archie and Veronica like went over to FP's house and Jughead's like, you all betrayed me. And then Archie and Veronica are like, we betrayed him. I'm like, girl, I see 2 Judases here and 1 Peter, because fucking y'all the ones who went behind people's backs and doing shit. Betty had an inclination, but she was trying to be nice to Jughead and spare his feelings. And yes, she withheld information, but it wasn't that deep compared to what them 2 did. I was like, listen, Betty needs to get a little scalped, but not too much, Jughead, calm down. And I just don't like seeing Betty unhappy. And so that was very hard for me to kind of deal with. But I did love that she stuck behind Jughead and she stuck behind her guns. I think that Betty's instincts have been really on point, and I think they've done a really good job at making her a flawed but interesting character. And I think of all of the characters, besides of course Queen Alice, who of course Betty is great because she comes from half queen, she's probably the character I have the biggest like watch of like, ooh, I want to know what they do with Betty. Jughead is probably the second after her. Like, even though Jughead isn't like my favorite character, I think that Cole does a really good job of playing that character, the hurt in his face and his voice, when he confronts his father, when he's dealing with the whole Cheryl situation. The whole scene between him and Cheryl was just really amazingly done, and the way they can make him look so tired. He just gets those really deep circles under his eyes and it's like, oh, Jughead, you were sleeping in the bus station. Poor baby. They've done a really good job with his character. And FP's confession, it was easy to know that it was a fake out because duh. But I think just the way how great that actor is so good at playing that character, and he and Jughead really play off each other really well. But the whole confession just seemed really natural, even though you knew like it's acting, so it's all acting. But it just he made it seem like a possibility. But me, having watched television before, knew that it wasn't him. But I think the actor did a really good job of selling the idea of that to the audience, to the point where it was only like his son who was like, I'm pretty sure that he's lying. Kevin did a little bit this episode, but again, it was funny to me and I think the episode before the most recent 112, someone went up to Kevin like, hey, have you seen? And then it's like, oh, never mind. Like, he doesn't even get to speak. He's kind of just like, and he's out. Kevin is still probably the character that frustrates me the most because he's meant to be a representation character and they just haven't really figured out what to do with him. I'm glad that he and Joaquin had more to do plot-wise in this final piece of the puzzle. And I like that Joaquin got to be like a gay biker character who was still duplicitous but still gay. He wasn't like gay for like trickery, you know what I mean? It was still like, he's a antagonistic, amoral gay man, and I think that that's good to see because it wasn't as if his sexuality was a part of that. He wasn't doing it because he was gay. It was like, he's a biker, he's a bad dude, he's doing this, and his hit happens to be another man. I think that is a positive thing. for that relationship. Overall, I am interested to see where the finale goes. I think that the cast that we have been given is just so charismatic and so good at playing these characters that even the most ridiculous things seem really well done. The Blossom's involvement with drugs is going to be really interesting to see where that goes, and how Cheryl's character is going to be now the leader of the pack, because as I said, she's probably going to be leading the Blossoms. Polly's probably going to give birth to those creepy redheaded children cousins that she's got in her belly. Although, I gotta say, when she was chugging down the milkshakes, I was like, what the fuck is in these milkshakes? Like, why are you just drinking these? Like, I don't know. I've never been pregnant. I don't know if milkshakes are good for children. But I just didn't... When it was bright red milkshakes, I'm just like, is everything in this house red? And I was like, of course, that's a stupid question, Melina. Everything is red in Thornhill. Yeah, I'm very happy with the show. I know I haven't been, like, super critical of it in these reviews, but when the whole series is done, I will do, like, a larger criticism, and especially when I do the Jughead video, a lot of other criticisms will be in there as well. I don't think the show is perfect by any means, but I think that my expectation of the show was that it was going to be trash. From the promotion and everything, it just did not seem that it was going to be a quality show. And while I think it's not like, you know, it's not fucking Breaking Bad or even, you know, Big Little Lies or anything like that. What it is, though, is it's a fun, engaging show on the level that it's trying to be. It knows itself, and that I respect in a show more than anything else. I think that so many times shows fail because they want to do so much to just seem so profound, but they don't understand that, you know, doing that sometimes fucks up what's already good for you. Like, the Fast and the Furious movies are so amazing and so successful because they know their identity and they know what they're selling themselves as, and they have confidence in that, which makes the franchise successful. Because you go to a fast, like, I saw Fast and the Furious and it was lit because it didn't try to be, you know, fucking cinematic genius. It's like The Rock moved a torpedo with his bare fucking hands. That's what I've come to see. That's what I want. I want to see Ludacris hack into shit. I want to see Tyrese make jokes. I want to see all these people in fucking Arctic Russia and not freezing their ass off even though they got no hats on. That's what I come to in a Fast and the Furious movie. And Riverdale is sort of the CW equivalent of the Fast and the Furious. It is nonsense candy that is good, and that is good in so many ways that are sort of like unnatural for something of its genre, that it is commendable for elevating itself above the mediocrity that it could be. Because it is definitely not a mediocre show. They put effort into it, the acting, all that stuff. It reminds me of the first season of Teen Wolf, which I loved. Of just really having a good sense of itself and knowing how to put its universe in this really compelling, engaging way. And so I'm looking forward to the finale. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And I'm looking forward to preparing for season 2 of Riverdale. I think it has been a solid show. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm sorry it wasn't as good. Next week, I promise I will pull out all the show stops. But you got to see my cute hair, which I got done yesterday. Well, a couple days from now when this comes up. I will look forward to talking about Riverdale. Leave your ideas of what you think is going to happen in the finale down below. And let's get ready for the finale, guys. It's here. That was fast.